The PGA vs LIV Tour fight is never going to end, especially seeing as golfers are picking sides now and earning big money. Shane Lowry just got a big win at Wentworth after a year of getting not quite enough of a score, and the first thing he did was claim it a win for the PGA Tour. In this video, we'll be taking a look at Shane Lowry's Wentworth win, so stay tuned. First off, Shane Lowry wins against Rahm and Rory McIlroy at Wentworth. The BMW PGA Championship has finally claimed its winner, and let's just say Ireland is definitely proud right now. Shane Lowry went head-to-head with Rahm and Rory McIlroy, two of the best active players, only to pull ahead and take the trophy from under their noses. He made sure to celebrate his victory, but not before he took a swipe at the controversial LIV Golf Tour at war with the PGA Tour. After his triumph this Sunday, Shane, being one of the elitists supporting the PGA, announced that this one was for the good guys. The tournament at Wentworth ended with Shane going home with a title worth $2 million. It had only 54 holes less compared to other championships because Friday's play was postponed so that players could pay respect after the announcement of Queen Elizabeth II's death. John was putting up an incredible display. The former US Open champion had set a target of 16 under after he finished a final round of 62, not to mention the back nine of just 29. But this didn't stop Shane, who responded with an eagle and 5 birdies in a closing 65. He finished with 17 under, a reward for his consistency, as the former British Open champion didn't make a single bogey throughout the whole event. Rory had to eagle the 18th so that he could force a playoff with Shane, and still saw his putt from 23 feet finish only millimeters from the hole. Next up, Shane was a clear side when it comes to the PGA vs LIV war. It's no wonder Shane took a swipe at the LIV as soon as he won. He was one of the PGA players constantly complaining about LIV players being allowed to take part in the championship. It was a dramatic week filled with intense rivalries for a tournament that had 18 players from the LIV Golf Series. At the start of tournament week, Shane said he couldn't even stand being in the same field as said 18 players when their preferred tour is the reason golf is currently in the middle of a civil war. The only one who seemed to be even more against them was Rory, who said he couldn't stomach it. LIV players also seem too sick of the treatment they've got for what's supposed to be a free choice. Ian Poulter, who deflected to LIV, was seen as in a heated argument with Billy Horschel, an American PGA loyalist, before the start of the tournament. American Taylor Gooch placed only 4th, and yet he was the LIV player who placed the highest at Wentworth, so it's understandable that Shane took the opportunity to get a hit at the rival tour right where it hurts. He said that it definitely wasn't a secret what he really thought about LIV, and while he wanted to win for himself first and foremost, he was sure that all the golfers that stayed loyal to PGA felt the win. So this one he considered a win for the good guys. Meanwhile, he also admitted it was good to win after being so close so many times. While this is still an ongoing problem, if there's one place to forget about the PGA LIV drama, it's when it celebrated yet another incredible championship win. When he was asked about his recent triumph, Shane said that while it had been a really good year, he'd been close to win many times only to never be on top. And no matter how you're playing, it's still very frustrating, so he had really wanted to at least win this one. He stated that he was so happy he couldn't even put it into words, nor could he describe how much he loved the PGA Tour and the tournament. He even claimed to be the happiest man in the world at the moment. Rory also cheered on his friend and admitted he was relieved that it was Shane who had gotten to lift the trophy at the end, even if it wasn't Rory himself. He said it was because seeing as it was Shane who won softened the blow for him. If it had been someone else, he definitely wouldn't have been as relaxed as he is now, but seeing a friend get a win feels great, and he was really happy for him. About himself, he admitted that he had struggled a bit in the tournament, especially on the last day. He hadn't been able to hit his irons very well, and he was scrambling quite a bit. Still, he somehow managed to get the most out of his round and secure a good place. Finally, Shane is looking forward to making the Ryder Cup qualifications next year. The start of qualification processes for next year's Ryder Cup started this week, and Shane Lowry is delighted to have made a flying start. He said that it's huge, and he actually just checked his phone and had a text from Luke, so he's pretty happy with that. One of his major goals will be to go to Rome next year and win back the Ryder Cup. Lowry is also delighted to have his list of winners of this prestigious tournament. He said that the way the world of golf is at the minute is highly challenging, but he thinks everyone at the DP World Tour and PGA Tour is all doing a great job by keeping it going and going well, and it gives him great privilege to win this tournament because for him this is one of the biggest tournaments in the world, and this is the reason he plays golf. You look at the great names in this trophy, and this is what golf is all about. Shane Lowry spoke about the tournament going ahead this weekend following the death of the Queen. He said that it had been a sad week for everybody. He said that he believed that the golf event at Wentworth was a celebration of her life, and he thought it was pretty special. Now in other news, first off, LIV player Patrick Reed still plays great golf. In the midst of all that has been going on, no one ever doubted Patrick Reed's ability to play golf just about everywhere and anywhere that is. Long before the former Masters champion committed a large chunk of his future to the endlessly lucrative but less challenging entity that is LIV Golf, he was a member of the European Tour. In comparison to a lot of his colleagues, he was willing to be able to test himself on unfamiliar courses that contrasted wildly with the relative sameness of the PGA Tour. He's a past winner of the Junior Open Championship and has been in and around the top players. The now 32-year-old Reed clearly enjoys the variety of golf by the seaside and the amount of time and ball necessarily spends on the ground rather than in the air. Secondly, keep your head down. Voted as worst advice for golfers? A reader of golf.com, Jason Cunningham, said that keep your head down is the worst piece of advice anyone can ever give another golfer. Many others agreed with the sentiment, and so do many top 100 golf teachers. They voted keep your head down as the worst golf advice ever. Keeping your head down makes sense only in theory. It doesn't work in practical use, according to some coaches. Golfers could over-exaggerate it and end up staying down so severely that they stop turning through the shot. Bobby Jones also agreed in his book On Golf that it was the worst golf advice. The average golfer would be a lot better off. He said anything about the necessity for keeping the eyes glued upon the ball. Finally, Rory McIlroy sighs over a relationship with former Ryder Cup teammates. When Rory McIlroy runs into some of his former teammates at Wentworth this week, there won't be any time spent reminiscing about fond memories. Sergio Garcia, Lee Westwood, and Ian Poulter, the European Ryder Cup stalwarts, are part of the contingent of LIV Golf players who will be competing at the BMW PGA Championship this week. Last year, during the Ryder Cup in Europe, McIlroy broke down in tears and about how much he loved his teammates. This Wednesday, he merely sighed when questioned about whether the tight-knit bond between Garcia, Westwood, and Poulter could survive the fallout from LIV. McIlroy said that he had no idea and that he doesn't have much of a relationship with them currently. Obviously, he isn't going to be crying over them again anytime soon, which is sad to see. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of Shane Lowry's win and his comments about the LIV Tour? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.